The temperatures are in the high 30s. The winds are gusting to 28 miles an hour out of the northwest. It's a kind of a day that would force a hearty turkey indoors. And it's just about that time of year. We're at Sullivan Stadium in Foxboro. And I guarantee you one thing, there'll be over 60,000 standing room only fans here today, and they're outside to enjoy a good one. Hello everyone, Eddie Doucette, Kyle Rote Jr. Kyle, a little nippy, but I expect that it's going to warm up in a hurry.
Now, anytime these two teams play, it is a battle royal. And when you look at Doug Flutie's tremendous career, the all-time total offense leader, the all-time passing leader, the one team that he's never really been able to do it against has been the Syracuse ball club. And as we saw here on USA earlier this year, Syracuse can do a job. They did one against Nebraska, then the #1 team.
Syracuse has one of the best pass defenses in America. They've not allowed a touchdown pass in the last 4 games and very few all season long. But they're going against the #2 passing offense in America, so it should be a dandy.
Yeah, I think really the game perhaps is going to be done on the other side of the field because you got a great defense in Syracuse, obviously a tremendous offense with Boston College, but the real issue is can Boston College defense hold out Syracuse?
Syracuse started on a high note. They beat Maryland, and they kind of skidded a bit, and then they ran into Nebraska, and we had that game on USA Sports. It was a thrilling win for them, certainly the high point of the season to now, but they feel as if they can be the spoiler. They can knock BC out of what many people consider to be a top-rated bowl bid.
Yeah, and you're going to see a situation, I think, if Syracuse can win the game, they may even get a bowl bid. First time in a long time, particularly for Coach MacPherson, who comes off a record 2 years ago that was not even a 500 record.
It's a 500 season for sure for Dick MacPherson. He's had some great moments this year. As we told you, we've seen at least one of those on USA Sports. Let's go back and synopsize what it's been for Syracuse in 1984. Good season so far. Syracuse coach Dick MacPherson has had a lot to be optimistic about in the last 3 weeks. In that time, the Orange Men have gone 3-0, and their success can be attributed to sophomore quarterback Mike Kometz. Since he came on in the second half 3 weeks ago against Army, he's thrown for 179 yards, including this TD strike to Mike Ciano against Navy last week. Spearheading Syracuse's running attack is junior running back Harold Gaydon. He has the quick feet and that slashing style of running, and it's helped him amass 438 yards and 3 TDs this year. And complementing him in the backfield is senior running back Jamie Covington, who has gained 2,151 career yards. Syracuse has a big active flanker in Mike Ciano. He's 6'4", 220 pounds with good hands, and he has 23 catches, over 325 yards this season. Still another offensive threat for the Orangemen is sophomore wide receiver Scott Schwades, who last year led the team in receptions and is repeating again this year with 35 for 421 yards. He has excellent moves in traffic. Tim Green has inspired an Orange defense that has allowed only 3 touchdowns in the second half this year. They're also ranked 3rd nationally against the pass. Green is a strong Lombardi Trophy candidate. He and linebacker teammate Jamie Kimmel have led the fired-up Orange defense that gives up less than 13 points a game. Syracuse coach Dick MacPherson had some 84 reflections.
It's a terrific rivalry. You can see the crowd that's here. Could you ever imagine the BC-Syracuse game outdrawing the Patriots? And that's where we are in college football today. We're thrilled about it. Now I think it's going to be a great game, and we got to go get Flutie, and I know he's ready for us.
Tell us a little bit about your quarterback situation.
Well, we've started our 3rd string quarterback, Mike Kometz, and since he's been in there, we're 3-0. We've beaten Army, Pittsburgh, and Navy. So and all we need now is the Air Force, and we'd be the Commander-in-Chiefs. So I think that Mike Kometz has been able to give us an outside dimension with the option series. He got better every game in throwing the football. He can throw it. He's just not sure where to throw it right yet. But he's reckless, and so we're going after people, play hard defense. Now, I think the key to the game is whether our offense can move the ball against that defense, because the other struggle is going to go on all day long.
I like that man. He is positive, but he's tough. He doesn't score many points offensively. He doesn't give up many defensively, but they don't make many turnovers.
No, and he said a lot of things, one being that football is not everything in life. He said something else, too, and he says that is that offense is what sells tickets. That's obvious, what we see here today.
Oh,
says, though, that defense wins games, and we'll find out.
And we are going to find out. And we're also going to find out about Boston College. We'll do that when we return. We're at Sullivan Stadium in Foxboro, Massachusetts. It's a little chilly, but I think we're going to have fun today.
you believe it? JT with an 8.
It looks like rain. It feels like snow, but it might be a combination. It may be hailing footballs here at Foxboro Stadium. That's right, we're at Foxboro, Massachusetts. Foxboro Stadium, Sullivan Stadium, whichever way you want to call it. It's been good for BC. They've always enjoyed playing here. Last year they were 3-0. This year they have a win and no defeats. And Doug Flutie particularly feels comfortable, despite the fact that he's going against a Syracuse team that has not treated him all that well the last 3 years.
No, and I think, Eddie, as we looked at this team, Doug Flutie, the best thing that he's had to beat all year has been his own defense, because his defense has given up an awful lot of points. The BC offense with about 36 points, the BC defense giving up 24. It's always a scoring derby. It's kind of like that old story of two buddies that go out hunting for the grizzly bear. They get within about 100 yards of that bear, and the bear sees them, starts chasing them. One guy stops to put on track shoes, and his friend says, hey, that's not going to stop the bear from catching you. And he says, I don't worry about the bear catching me. I just got to outrun you. And that's the problem for Doug Flutie, is he's got to score more points than his defense is going to give up. And all season long, anytime that Doug Flutie has not been able to do that, of course, this team has lost. And I think the real key thus is going to be how the BC defense does against Syracuse.
Against the league, he passes 60%. And against Syracuse, he's only good for 37% career. That'll give you an idea about how tough they've been on him. Syracuse, as we mentioned earlier, the #3 passing defense in the nation. It won't be easy for Doug Flutie. The question is, can Boston College maybe establish the run today and get something going that way?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see Syracuse rush more than 4 people the whole day. That means they'll have 7 people back in the secondary. It means Flutie's going to have to use his backs out of the backfield. It means that his prime wide receiver is going to be double teamed most of the time. And it's going to be a mental challenge for Doug Flutie to see whether or not he'll try to force the ball into double coverage, whether he'll be content to use the run sometimes, which is a type of offense that he doesn't like to use at all.
His coach, Jack Bicknell, says Doug Flutie can do more things in a football field than any player he's ever seen. I agree. He's a sensational performer. BC's had a lot of success. What will happen after today? Old times. Let's take a look at this 84. For Boston College, the story is much more than the one that follows Heisman favorite Doug Flutie. The Eagles are in a position to go bowling again, and this time it just might be on January 1. BC is known for its passing, but they balance the attack with the cutback style running of tailback Troy Stradford. Is he fun to watch? And if Stratford's hamstring gets bothersome, they look for junior speedster number 24 Ken Bell to pitch in. And how about the receiving corps for the Flutie Air Force? It's formidable. You've got Gerard Phelan, Doug's favorite target. He's catching an average of 6 a game, which is #3 in the nation. Number 82, Kelvin Martin, is only a sophomore, but already he's a double threat. He's caught 8 touchdown flings from Flutie, and he even authored a 45-yard punt return against the Army. It was BC's first punt return for a touchdown in 12 years. Another #1 for Boston College is their free safety, Tony Thurman, who's #1 in the nation in interceptions with 9. And then the man in the middle of that Eagle defense is Herculean nose guard Mike Ruth. BC coach Bicknell also praised Syracuse's defense.
Syracuse is a great defensive team. They're a great football team. They beat Nebraska, who was #1 at the time and is #1 again. They have an excellent defense. They have a good scheme of defense. They put a lot of pressure on you with only 4 people, which is something that you'd like to be able to do, and then they disguise coverages with the rest of their people. So I'm very impressed with Syracuse. They've got outstanding personnel. Tim Green, legitimate All-American candidate. Jamie Kimmel, I think, is a fine player. So then they have others. Ron Hobby in the secondary. They have other fine players. So it's going to be a challenge for our kids.
It certainly is, and we'll have an opportunity to see what Syracuse is up against when we come back to Sullivan Stadium here in Foxboro, Massachusetts. We've put together a little feature on Doug Flutie. I think you'll enjoy it. We'll have it for you when we come back. What? College Football 84 is brought to you by the Stroh Brewery Company, brewers of Stroh's, Old Milwaukee, and other fine beers. By Toyota's exciting cars and trucks for 1985. Toyota invites you to see them at your local dealer. By Mobil Super Unleaded Gasoline. Mobil Super Unleaded, it's really powerful. By Levi's Jeans, Cords, and Shirts for quality and style that you can count on. And by Zenith VHS Video Recorders, the Smart Decks, the video recorders that have everything. They're poised, they're ready to go here at Sullivan Stadium in Foxboro, Massachusetts. BC and Syracuse, always a great battle. Doug Flutie has been amazing. Here's a fella that has 21 touchdown passes this year. He's amassed over 9,000 passing yards, over 10,000 total yards, and on top of all that, he's a Rhodes Scholar candidate. I guess that's poetic justice.
Yeah, I think importantly, though, remember that the Heisman balloting is over. The Heisman selection hasn't been announced yet, but the pressure's off. He can't help himself or hurt himself, and the one last challenge that he has in his career is to do something good against Syracuse, which he's not done.
He's accomplished just about everything. We're going to take you back and show you a little bit about Doug Flutie and let you figure it out for yourself, because this young man is truly incredible. In 1983, Sports Illustrated had an idea that Doug Flutie would be the focal point of college football '84. The weight of being an SI cover boy has had no adverse effect on this young man's season. He's climbed the ladder and accomplished a couple of major milestones. Last week, he became the all-time passing yardage leader, vaulting some other former college notables. He's also gone to the top of the all-time total offense charts. It's been a memorable career. And who would have guessed that at this unlikely prep from Natick, Mass. would go on to secure the last scholarship at BC in '81. Start out as the #5 quarterback as a freshman, because of injuries become #1 that year, and now the kingpin in 1984.
Coming in as a freshman, I was 5th string, and I was struggling to just try to make the squad, so to speak. And I had a lot of obstacles, and the main one was to have the confidence in myself that I belonged here. And after I had the opportunity to play, and I started out playing, it took me a while, but I realized, hey, I had the ability and I have a chance of playing at Boston College in major college football. And it was an exciting time for me because I was becoming acquainted with major college football, and I realized I'm as good as anyone else and that I don't have to take a back seat to anyone. Playing in the Boston area has been a real special experience for me because I've had a lot of feedback from the fans in the area, and they've appreciated my efforts out on the football field, you know, on and off the field. I've done some things, and I feel like it's home to me, playing in this area. And in fact, in the future, I'd love to be able to play in this area because I feel like I have a special rapport with the Boston community.
He does have a special rapport. These fans have poured in here. He is the darling of Boston. And today there are representatives from every major bowl in the country here to see Doug Flutie at Boston College. Kyle, where do you think it might be?
Well, I think because of their record, Eddie, they're going to have to win today's ball game to go to a January 1st bowl game. And you hate to throw dollars into college football, but in reality, it's $1.5 million difference. It's a $1.5 million difference between, say, the Citrus Bowl, which gives about $600,000, and say the Sugar Bowl, which gives 2.1, or the Cotton Bowl, which gives $2 million. So the athletic director here, the fans, this is a big day not just for beating Syracuse in the Orange, but it's a big day for the pocketbook of the Boston College program.
And so the Eagles will soar in the wings of the man with at least $1.5 million arm, Doug Flutie, because it's his job today to try and lead his club against one of the nastiest and toughest defenses in America. One team 6-4, the other 6-2. Let's go down and pick up some of the activities in the field with referee Tom Themert.
Call it. And you call the heads. It is a tail. You have won the toss. You want the ball. Which end do you want to defend? Just turn around and face the way you're going, gentlemen.
Well, Eddie, it looks as if Boston College winning the toss is going to take the ball, and that'll put it in the hands of the man they always want to see the ball with, quarterback Doug Flutie. Looks like they're going to gang war out in the middle of the field, but really just players from both teams out trying to come up for that last little bit of inspiration. Syracuse, a team that has played a great deal on emotion this year. We've seen them, as we told you here on USA, upset then the number one ranked team, Nebraska. But Syracuse also has been shut out by Rutgers, shut out by Florida, only had 3 points against Penn State, so they've had an up-and-down team.
Everybody is ready. And they have a sellout here today, although some of the fans are still a little bit slow moving to their seats. Weather conditions, well, that's as succinctly as we can put it. 37 degrees. Right now at 23, it'll gust to 28. Humidity 39%. Windy, chilly, and in some people's hearts, it could end up being very warm. We have a feeling that Doug Flutie is going to put on a show today. But Syracuse has other ideas in mind because they have been pointing to this one for a long time. Might tell you that in the 3 years that Flutie has played against Syracuse, his team has won 1, they have lost 2. And as we had indicated before, he's not had a great deal of success. Last year he was intercepted 4 times. BC was held to 114 yards passing. He had 1 touchdown, and he has been throughout his career not a great percentage passer against Syracuse, 37%. But against the rest of the country, oh my, has he done it all. This year, he has passed for over 2,570 yards, 21 touchdowns, and he's been incredible. And of course, the rest we've already talked about. Syracuse now, and back set to receive for Syracuse, or for Boston College, will be Steve Williams and Ken Bell. Bell is number 24, and Williams is number 30.
Ken Bell, Eddie, number 24, is number 7 in the nation. He's returned 1 for 92 yards. Didn't score on it, but very, very powerful and dangerous return man. Don McCauley now, who for Syracuse, in addition to handling the kickoffs, also handles their field goals. They have an unusual record, 122 consecutive point afters. That is about 13 short of the NCAA record by Oklahoma, 135. So in addition to being a man of distance, he's also a man who has pretty good accuracy too.
One thing that Syracuse must protect against, as you look at Gorzalski, who's the captain of their special teams and an outstanding tackler, you'll look for him in nickelback situations. Syracuse has had problems in the first quarter this year. They have been outscored 52-6 in first quarter play, so they've had to fight from behind all season long. McCauley will kick it off, and I can tell you this crowd is ready. We're underway at Sullivan Stadium in Foxboro. Bell. And to the 15-yard line. And it's Gorzalski who is right down there to bang him hard. He is the captain of the special teams that we mentioned. All right, offensively with Flutie, Stratford, Strachan, Kelvin Martin, Phelan, and Casparriello. They will not start Gieselman, their regular tight end, who is hurt. Their offensive line of Regent, Bardwell, Bicknell, Trapillo, and McDonald. And those have been the starters all year long. Kelvin Martin is to the near side. They flip-flop the line. John Roos, the cornerback, on the far side, and Lee to the near side. First and 10. And right away, they go to the tight end, Casparriello. David Lee, the wide side corner, was there to bring him down. Casparriello was not had many opportunities this year. They've had him shuffling between fullback and tight end. Defensively, Knopf and the rest with Kimmel, Pigeon, Reed, and Allen, the linebackers in the 3-4 set. And the secondary of Lee, Roos, Ron Hobby, and Vic Bellamy. Hobby is an outstanding free safety. Dombrowski is in the ball game. Phelan has come out as a split receiver for Boston College. Twin receivers set to the far of the wide side of the field. And we've got a delay, I believe, already. 2nd down and 3 the call, and the officials working the game here have already made their first whistle of the day. The umpire, incidentally, the referee is Tom Thamert. The umpire in the game is James Riley. Don Gooman will be the head linesman. The line judge Anthony Manissi.
Dead ball, delay, offense, repeat 2nd down.
So they didn't get it in playing time, Kyle, so they'll repeat now. On the 2nd down, it'll be a 2nd down and 8 yards to go. That's Flutie. 5'9", he's going to run. And out to the 30-yard line. He needed 8.
He got it.
And Jerry Allen, one of the linebackers, brought him down. One fellow that we might concentrate on today, Kyle, is number 72, Tim Green, who has 14 sacks in '84. He had 14 and a half last year.
Tim Green is being triple teamed at this point because, again, as we said, Flutie is only going to face 4 rushers most of the time by Syracuse, and they're going to try to double his receivers. That is going to put Flutie in that pass run situation where he is going to have to scramble a great deal. 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. Darren Flutie has come in the ball game now. Kelvin Martin is the other wide out. That's Stradford. And out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And he really took a lick. Ron Hobby, the free safety. Stradford playing with a bad hamstring. He's had that problem all year long. In fact, he pulled that in the game we did on USA against Rutgers. There's Stradford in his numbers, 4.4 yards per carry. Stradford. Doug Flutie, just about 60%, 2,570 yards, 8 interceptions. Roos defensively to the near side, Lee to the far side. Kelvin Martin is split to the near end. Casparriello at the 42, down at the 43. Vic Bellamy, the strong safety, who was also the nickelback on many situations, pulled him down. But there's big Peter Casparriello, 6'3", 221 pounds. Hasn't had that many receptions, but already today they've gone to him 2 times. He's added about 67% to his number of receptions now with 5 on the season. But for someone missing someone like Gieselman is really tough. Gieselman all season long, their number 3 receiver. Sean Dombrowski is flanked to the far side. Kelvin Martin to the near side. 1st and 10 of the 42. Boston College with a couple first downs. The running game. And Rick Miller pulling down Stradford. Stradford, a junior, 5'8", 183 from Linden, New Jersey. Jack Bicknell, who has put this program in motion. He, like Dick MacPherson of Syracuse, have come here and done wonderful jobs at each of their schools. 4th year as the head man at Boston College. Started out that first season at 5-6 with a group of people that were called no names. They were the recruits that no one wanted. He's now got them in the top 20. Casparriello in motion. Kelvin Martin near side, out of the eye. Strachan and Stradford. Stradford out of bounds. Jim Gorzalski. He bumped him out of bounds, and I'm going to tell you, this crowd is ready for this one. And they get themselves another first down. Here's Flutie, who, because he had a bad left shoulder, they don't want to see him running too much. He doesn't need to. Really good seal block that time by Steve Strachan, number 33, to get Troy Stradford, number 23, on the outside. It's another first down. Boston College running 4 times, only passing twice. Sean Dombrowski getting a lot of playing time so far at a split receiver. They have twin receivers to the near side now and out of the eye. Excellent second effort right there by Troy Stradford. Ron Hobby, the senior free safety, and Tim Green, the defensive end, made the tackle. Take a look at the secondary coverage now for Syracuse, and we see how quickly the linebackers in the secondary react to this running play. Boston College. Maybe we're not going to take a look at that, but anyway, Stradford picking his way through with good blocks by his down linemen, Trapillo and Bradwell. Moving it on a 2nd down and 2. Ball is on the 39-yard line of Syracuse. Remember, this is a very, very stingy Syracuse defense. All their problems have been in the first quarter. Boston College with a free one. That's Casparriello inside the 10-yard line. But a flag was thrown on the play. Ron Hobby was the tackler, and it looks like it's going to be against Syracuse. Offsides on the left side. Left end was offside there, and good quarterbacks know they've got a free one. And there's that free pass. And Casparriello right now, 3 receptions for 46 yards. He's off to a good start. That equals his reception total for the year, and he's done it here in the first few minutes of the first quarter. It's nice, though, Flutie has not hesitated, obviously, to go to him, and that helps a lot of confidence. David Lee, the cornerback, to the near side. Roos goes to the far. Kelvin Martin is on the near side. And they try the middle.
It's Strachan, the big fullback, 6'1", 216 pounds. Jamie Kimmel, the outside linebacker on the far side. Jerry Allen, another backer on the other side, came over to bring him down. But they're mixing in a few running plays here, which is not it's not unlike Boston College, but I think they're doing it a little bit more in proportion to the pass than they normally do.
Yeah, I think they've got to try to get those linebackers and secondary men coming up, because that's the only way they're going to open it up for their deeper receivers.
Phelan and Martin are stretched to the far side, 2nd down and 5. And Flutie will try and carry it himself down to the 2. Or was that Strachan? It was Strachan, or Stratford. We get it straightened out here. Stratford, the tailback in the eye. Kimmel, the tackler on the outside. Jamie Kimmel. Kimmel and Green have really been the stalwarts in that defensive front rush for the Syracuse Orangemen. They are really outstanding football talents.
Saw Boston College going to an uneven line last time. They had 2 tight ends on one side. They do it again. Now they've gone uneven line left, like the old single wing.
3rd and 1 from the 1. And it's going to be close. Did he get there?
Well, no hands up in the air, just inches away. Good second effort, though, by Stratford.
Some excellent popping going down there on the field.
Take a look at Tim Green's pursuit, number 72. Goes off one block, tries to use some speed, keeps going, and it's Green who gets to the outside. With the second effort, is able to keep Stratford from going into the end zone.
They're going with a full house backfield. Turner and Strachan, 2 jumbo running backs, and there they are. And it's a touchdown. Steve Strachan. He had a couple touchdowns against Army. He's had 6 for the year. Coming in, he's got number 7. Well, they went with the 2 jumbo backs. They normally run them in a full house backfield, but they get one here out of the eye.
Straight power football, and you see what Trapillo, number 65, gets stood up by the defense there. Good leap by Steve Strachan, and that's against a defense that at one time had a string of 15 consecutive games where they had given up no more than 1 touchdown a game. So Boston College, right off the bat, just over 5 minutes, put some points on the board.
Kevin Snow to kick. He's got it. In the early going here at Foxboro, Sullivan Stadium. Boston College wanting one has come up with a lead. The Eagles 7, Syracuse nothing. 1-0 Boston College over Syracuse. And we're at Sullivan Stadium in Foxboro, Massachusetts. And the crowd level and noise level of several decibels higher than what we had anticipated. These folks are ready for this one, Kyle.
Well, they've seen Flutie and Boston College do so many things, but don't discount the fact there are a lot of folks here from Syracuse as well. Not that far, and Syracuse on the edge of perhaps going to a bowl. As we said, the Citrus representative is here. There's the scoring drive. A little over 5 minutes. Steve Strachan with the 1-yard run to punch it in. Boston College relying a great deal in those 12 plays on the running game. Only 3 passes in that series, 9 runs, and but they were all complete. So Flutie 3 for 3 at this point.
Boston College to kick it off now, and that is going to be the man that just added the extra point, Kevin Snow. So an extended drive right out of the chute by BC.
He should just dump the ball.
Gaden and Covington are back to receive, and that's Harold Gaden chasing it down, and they'll bring it back out to the 20-yard line. So with the wind behind, they didn't kick it over the end line, and at least Boston College has tried to figure out how they're going to control that kick so they don't lose an extra 10 yards.
Well, there was a penalty assessed on the extra point, so they had a 15-yard benefit there. So kicked off from the Syracuse 45-yard line.
Kometz, Covington, Gaden, Ciano, Schwades, and Tate. That's what they'll look at as far as the skill people. Brodsky, Stevens, Jack Simcoe, Valenti, and Doug Marone. Big offensive tackle, 282 pounds on the right side of the line. They run the split backs. That's Kometz. And that was Schwades. He may have looked like he was, he almost looked like he was lining up to throw a pass himself.
Well, it was a lateral. He could have done that had he caught the ball. The pass a little bit too high.
Nickerson, Harrington, Ruth, Bosa, and Gorecki. Watch number 68, Mike Ruth. Maybe the strongest man in college football. Bench press is 520 pounds. That's the defensive line. The linebackers, the freshmen, Romanowski and Peter Holy. They've had problems there. There's a lot of injured people there. Secondary, Russell, Eiton, Thurman, and Pereira. Second down, 10. Harold Gayden. They stuck him back pretty good. Romanowski was one of the hitters. Mike Ruth was also in there. Ruth with 5 sacks for the year. He'll be all over the field today. And there's Gayden. Gayden, 5'11", 201 from Tarrytown, New York. Let's go, David Thomas, who has been a very strong figure in Boston's defense the past 4 years, has been trying to play with a bad hamstring. He just came out. Rick Nickerson has come back in. They tried to go with Thomas. Third down conversions. You just saw the number. It's 3rd and 13. And Kometz finds Ciano.
It's not far enough, though, Eddie, so they're still going to come up with a 4th and 5, a punting situation.
So that means that Jim Fox will have to come in to punt. There's Ciano. He's got great numbers as far as size is concerned, 6'4", 220, and he's one of their leading receivers. Kelvin Martin will be standing back at the BC 35-yard line, and the kicker coming on right now. Fox averaging just about 42 yards a kick. Very, very good punter. And this one angled toward the sidelines and out of bounds at the 36, 37. They're going to spot it at the 39.5-yard line. So with the teams changing positions on the field, we'll tell you that it's Boston College 7, Syracuse nothing from Foxboro. It's 7-0 Boston College over Syracuse. I believe the wind had a little bit of an effect on Snow's last punt, 35 yards. 1st and 10, Flutie at the 39, out of the eye. Troy Stratford, his tailback, runs right into the arms of Ted Gregory, the nose guard, 240-pounder, right in the middle of that Syracuse line. Stratford has run for over 420 yards this year, 429 coming in. And so far today with 29 yards, and he's carried it 7 times. And he was kind of questionable as to whether he would be able to play, but he wanted this one badly. 2nd down and 9. Kelvin Martin to the far side. Casparriello in the slot over there. Dombrowski to the near side. Receivers. That's Flutie. And that is Stratford, and he's hit shy of the 50-yard line. John Roos, the short side corner man, was right there, and Hobby was there with him. Number 10 is Ron Hobby, and number 40 is John Roos.
They talk about comedians being the improvisational specialist, but when you look at this Boston College team and what Doug Flutie does in the backfield, he improvises so well and has so much confidence that he turns trying to defense him into a very, not a comedian business, but a very serious business. Breaks out of the backfield, has 2 receivers open, decides which one to throw it to. Again, has not gone deep except once to Casparriello, and is using that controlled passing game to move down the field. Good field position for Boston College as they started on their 40.
Kyle, Boston College right now looking for their 5th first down of the game. Kelvin Martin has come out. Darren Flutie has come in. Dombrowski will now go to the far side. Phelan is back in. And on 3rd down conversion so far, BC is 0 for 1. There's the back of the man with the golden arm and the golden dome on his head. That helmet signifies a little bit more than just a helmet as far as BC fans are concerned. He could wear a halo, and I think in most eyes he does. 3rd down and 1. Knopf, Gregory, and Tim Green defensively across the front line right in the middle of the action. Flutie on a roll.
2 people wide open again.
Casparriello on the 1st down, and the tight end with his 4th catch. And he is running some very interesting routes here today.
Well, we had 3 receivers out. We only had 2 people in the secondary. Let's look at the secondary. Linebackers coming up. You've got 3 receivers in the same zone. Look, 2 wide open for Flutie. He decides to hit Casparriello because Casparriello now has his 4th catch. He's 4 for 4 to him. and another first down.
Darren Flutie is in at a wide out to the near side. 1st and 10. And Stratford is dropped for a loss. Vic Bellamy comes pouring through there. Bellamy had quite a game against Navy, and he's been good most of the season for Syracuse. From Philadelphia.
Bellamy's been a starter now a little over 2 years. Played some as a, actually no, as a starter as a sophomore, also a starter last year as a junior. A lot of experience back there, and part of that great pass defense that Eddie told you about, number 3 in the nation.
Strachan is the lone running back. Phelan and Dombrowski to the near side. And Strachan finds the kind of running room that he wants and carries a few people with him. Jamie Kimmel, who is one of the good ones. Last week he had 7 tackles and 3 sacks.
Earlier, Flutie keeps 2 tight ends in, does a bootleg, has 3 receivers open. This time sets 3 receivers very wide out on the field with only 1 man in the backfield. Looks like he's going to use him to block, gives him the ball instead. Very deceptive type of attack for Boston College.
Phelan, Dombrowski on the near side on the line, and on the far side they've got Kelvin Martin from the eye and the pitch back. Troy Stratford. Ron Hobby as the man that gets to him. But Stratford is doing some very nice running here early in this ball game, and Boston College again getting down close to 6-point territory. A 1st down and 10 on the 16-yard line. Tim Pigeon has come in along with Rudy Reed. The absence of Bernard King at one of the linebacker positions is not helping Syracuse today. Phelan and Darren Flutie are the wide receivers on the far side. And Stratford is held up right there at the line by Jamie Kimmel and Ted Gregory. So Kimmel and Gregory combine as MacPherson on the far side, obviously concerned at the way BC is mixing their offense right now and making some big ground. Stratford in, Ken Bell comes out. Now Stratford goes out to the far side, and they've got Bell in. Casparriello switches to the right side of the line. Not there. Vic Bellamy defending on Kelvin Martin. Martin with over 580 yards so far this year. Averages 18.7 yards per catch. And a flag has been dropped.
Be holding, I'm sure, against Boston College. It's not really a good pass by Flutie. That's something that is very rare, almost as rare as the tickets that will no doubt be put in scrapbooks by the capacity crowd here today at Sullivan Stadium.
Holding, offense, repeat 2nd down.
So the referee, Tom Thamert, getting a little airtime. And you heard the call. Repeating on a 2nd down, 2nd and 19. Ball on the 24-yard line.
2nd and 19 at the 24-yard line.
Stratford has come in. Ken Bell has gone out so far. Flutie perfecto. Lee, Bellamy, Gorzalski, Hobby, and Roos. A nickelback situation for Syracuse. Is he cool? And out of bounds. Well, he picked up a few yards on it. John Roos ran him out over there, but Flutie is just so cool. He looks like he's been playing in the NFL for 5 or 6 years, doesn't he?
Yeah, they still flush him out of the pocket. Let's take a look at Tim Green, number 72, the right end, who is their real sack specialist. He's going against Sean Regent, number 54, at tackle, and Regent does a job on him. Even Freilich had a difficult time against Tim Green.
Boston College a little short at tight end with the injury to Gieselman, where they're having to go with some backup people. Flutie for the 19 on a 3rd and 15. Gets rid of it, intercepted and dropped. For a moment it looked like John Roos was there to intercept it. But a good call by Syracuse, and the nickel coverage worked.
Yeah, Sean Murphy did a great defensive job. Sean Murphy is the tight end for Flutie. And had Murphy not gone up and fought for that ball, Syracuse would have had the interception.
And he's one of the reserve tight ends we talked about, Kyle. He's not playing a lot this year. He's actually on the depth chart about their 4th tight end. You had Gieselman, Casparriello, Brendan Murphy, and then comes Sean Murphy. And another hanky was dropped, and they're going to march it back to the 29-yard line. Let's find out what Tom Hamthamert has in mind.
Holding, offense, repeat 3rd down.
Same thing again. And anytime you've got a quarterback who's as versatile as Flutie is, you've got to be very careful.
29-yard line.
There's that career low, 114 yards. Flutie this year has not been held under 250 yards in any game he's played.
Bell is in the slot, stretched to the far side. Kelvin Martin beyond him. 3rd and 24 from the 29. Pressure. Strachan was the intended receiver. And good heat over there by the linebackers. Rudy Reed, Miller, and Tim Green was in on the rush. And number 93, Ted Gregory, walking back this way. Gregory acts as if it's a mid-September day there with the short sleeve jersey pulled up around the stomach. Cool weather didn't seem to bother him. So now you got a 4th and 24. And that very tough Syracuse defense we talked about has given them a lift as Kevin Snow will come in to line it up and attempt what could be a 46-yard field goal attempt. He'll be kicking into the wind. It's a little cross. He's not going to get there. Excellent pressure right there. Jerry Allen, number 90, with a good rush, and they come up dry. It's Boston College 7, Syracuse nothing. Commercial. In college also. They've had a lot of problems with their linebackers, Kyle. When you lose some of the people they've lost, Ed Van Nessen, one of them, and of course the injuries that they've had, it's created a lot of problems with Boston College defensively. There they are as you see them set up. 7-0. Scott Schwade's a split to the near side. That's Kometz. Almost outran his block that time before the freshman Romanowski, the linebacker, came over to pull him down. But he had Simcoe, his center, out in front, and he almost outran his block. There's the numbers on Kometz.
Well, one of the reasons could perhaps be the relative inexperience. Many times you get a player like Flutie back there, and Flutie has his signals that he gives to his linemen. He'll either shout something like go or now, and Kometz, with so much experience at quarterback, may not know, they may not have the code words built up yet.
From the I formation, Gayden is the lead man in the I. That's Jamie Covington. And Bill Romanowski again. That's an interesting story, Romanowski, Kyle. The first time we saw Boston College, there was a chance he may be playing fullback because they had the injury to Brown. And then they decided at the last moment against Rutgers to move him back to the linebacker, and what a job he's done. Florida over Kentucky 6-3 in the second. College football, let's hear this call.
Illegal use of the hands, offense, refused. 2nd down.
2nd down and 10, ball on the 40-yard line. The sophomore quarterback with a good arm from Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. That's Mike Kometz. Marty Chalk has come in. And Jim Tate out at a tight end. Chalk is 85. That's Ciano in motion. And Harold Gayden from Philadelphia. On the carry, Peter Holy, one of the linebackers, again there to pull him away. There he is, number 36. And down on the bottom is Mike Ruth, the nose guard, number 68.
Look at Mike Ruth. He stands the center up, holds off, uses that tremendous upper body strength that Eddie told you about, over 500 yards in the bench press, and just throws his center off.
3rd down and 4. Gayden and Covington are the running backs out of the I. Ciano in motion. Covington. He's not going to get the first down on that carry. Foley and David Thomas. There he is, number 50, not expected to play. Had a severely damaged hamstring, but he wants to play in this one. He's a senior and a real good one from Capitol Heights, Maryland. So it'll bring on a 4th and 4. Boston College is held defensively, and if there is an area that might be suspect, it would be their defense. And now James Fox, or Jimmy Fox, comes in. For the year, his net, now with the wind curling a little bit behind him, he should get the benefit. Let's see what it does with it. Left-footed. To scramble to get it back is Kelvin Martin. Almost disastrous for Boston College.
Last week against Army, the same thing happened. Martin, as we told you in the opening, here's the call. But Martin last week dropped one punt. He did return one for a touchdown. With that ball knuckling in this swirling air that Eddie told you about. And I'm really kind of surprised today that he tried to field it. Many times, the punt returners, once they get inside the 10, the coaches tell them to let the ball hit. Hope it'll go in the end zone.
5-yard interference for the opportunity to catch a kick against the kickers. First down.
So the call by the referee. We have 1:10 to play here in the first quarter. 1 minute and 10 seconds, and Boston College is a long way from 6 more. It's Eagles 7, Syracuse nothing. Boston College 7, Syracuse nothing. We have 1:10 to play in the first quarter. BC with possession of the ball. It's on the 13-yard line. Phelan to the near side. And underthrowing the intended receiver that time. Ron Hobby was there to defend. Boston College having to go a little deeper yet. Their tight end roster, and they go this time intended to Kyle Hudgens. He wasn't even listed coming in, to give you an idea how deep they're going now. But they have obviously a bevy of them. Martin to the near side. Phelan and Dombrowski to the near side. Single running back. Strachan to block. Intended for Kelvin Martin, David Lee to defend. And again, Kyle, I think important to mention here that Syracuse has allowed only 4 touchdown passes all year and not 1 in the last 4 games. And I can see already that pass defense is keyed on Doug Flutie today.
Particularly remember that, as you said at the start of the show, Syracuse has had a lot of problems in the first quarter. And as the game gets on, they get even stronger.
Kelvin Martin is stretched to the far side. Stradford is out there with him and now comes back in motion toward the line of scrimmage. Deep into the coverage and intercepted. Ron Hobby. Big interception. And again, not that much of a surprise, because in last year's game, they intercepted Flutie 4 times.
Well, here's where the frustration factor comes in. He's been able to hit his short receivers most of the day. He's getting pretty good protection. Ron Hobby, with his 6th interception of the year, obviously the team leader there, just playing center field, trying to read Flutie's moves, his eyes, his motion, and the pass, frankly, overthrown.
Kometz is the quarterback. Gaydon and Covington are the running blacks out of the split. That's Kometz. And runs right into Romanowski, the freshman linebacker. Ball started on the 39-yard line. He got a couple. There he is, Kometz. Quite a story here, averaging 5'1". He's a good runner. Most quarterbacks will lose yards on the ground, but he is a strong runner. Has a touchdown as far as rushing is concerned. Chalk into the tight end. Tate comes out now for Syracuse. 20 seconds in the quarter remaining. And it's Gaydon on the give. Romanowski again. Boy, this freshman kid, Romanowski, with a lot of action already as we get very close to the end of the first quarter. I tell you that coming up at halftime, we have a feature on defense. We also have a Wall Street weekend memo. And we will have first half highlights, statistics, and more. Gaydon with some nice numbers there. 8 seconds to play in the first quarter. Boston College 7, Syracuse nothing. And a 4th down situation, maybe. They want to measure to see how much they have. Unofficially around 2 yards, but let's just check and see for ourselves. Not quite. It's less than that. I'd say about a foot.
There's a gain of about 2 yards in the play. Just want to have a first down at the 29-yard line.
Tom Perrell has come in on the defensive line, and Pereira, the free safeties, come out. They've got an extra big man up front. 4th and 1. And on the full house set, Kometz on the sneak. And a whistle on the play as we get a good look at the football inside. But they came in there with that full house look, Kyle. And then Kometz got a little crafty to try and sneak it through. That Gaydon, Covington, and Roland Grimes, a 235-pounder. That's the end of the first quarter here at Sullivan Stadium in Foxboro. It's Boston College 7.